Okay, so you are able to hear my voice, right? And able to see screen, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed regarding average power and complex power and other concepts. Before going to that, there was one question from one of the students. So regarding this problem, what you are seeing right now on the screen. So this problem we have already solved, and this is the methodology I have adopted to solve this problem. Okay. So in that we found the question was find out the average power absorbed by individual loads. Okay. So 2 minus J1 ohms is one load and 1 plus J5 is another load. So they asked us to find out the average power. Okay. So we have found out it is around 288 watts for load 1. Okay. That means 2 minus J1. We found out around 288 watts. Okay. After that, we tried to find out the average power for the second load, which came to be 144 watts. Okay, and obviously the total power is sum of those two, or you can use this formula also, VSIS into cos of angle of Vs minus angle of Is. Okay, so we got 432 watts. Okay, and power factor 0.8 lagging. Right. So then there was a discussion that how to cross check, or is there any methodology we can find out that average power. So we started discussing and we found that I effective square into R, that means 12 is your RMS value here, source current. Okay, so that 12 is flowing into this both the loads. Okay, so 12 square into 2 we have done and we got 288 watts. Okay, so then there was a doubt whether V square by R is applicable or not. If it is applicable, we are not getting the same answer. Okay, so let's see that whether it is applicable or not. Okay, and whether we'll get the same answer or not. If it is not applicable, what is the alternative formula for that? Okay, right. So this is your impedance triangle with R and J into XL minus XC, and Z will be equivalent to that root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, right. So for that, for testing with different formula for average power. Okay, so we'll try to do that. So okay, so this is the basic formula we have already seen. V effective means RMS value. So V RMS into I RMS into cos of theta minus phi. Okay, so load 1 in the present question is 2 minus J1, which is considered as R1 plus J into X1. Okay, right. So from this formula, we will first try to, derive or get how we have got I effective square into R. We have seen I effective square into R, we got the same answer, which is 288 watts. So we will see how that formula we have arrived at. Okay, right. So you are understanding, na? P is I have written as V1 into Is into cos of theta 1 minus phi. You are able to get this because V is the voltage across load 1, Is is the source current, it is a series circuit, so Is remains same, and cos of theta 1 minus phi. Phi is the current phase angle and theta 1 is the phase angle of voltage V1. Okay, if you remember, we have already found out the voltage V1. Okay, right. You remember that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So try to convert this expression V1 into Is into cos of theta 1 minus phi into I effective square into R format. We can do that or not? We have just now seen what is power factor cos of theta minus phi in terms of R and Z. Okay. So try to write that cos of theta 1 minus phi in terms of R and Z. What will be that expression?
2 upon 2 minus Ji.
First say cos of theta 1 minus phi. Expression I am asking. I am not asking the value. Since I have given here r1 plus j into x1, so try to write this cos of theta 1 minus phi in terms of r1 plus j x1. I mean, you know the formula, na? From the impedance triangle, what is cos of theta 1 minus phi?
Sir,
If I
R1
yeah.
cos of theta 1 minus phi equal to R1 upon under root R1 square plus X1 square.
Okay, right. So under root r1 square plus x1 square. Okay, so r1 here is 2 and x1 is I think minus minus 1, I think so. Okay, whatever it may be. So if I write in terms of z, it will be r1 divided by z1. Okay, correct now? Right.
Yes,
So
sir.
R1 divided by Z1. Similarly, try to write this voltage V1 also in terms of current and Z1. Voltage V1 also in terms of current and Z1. You can write now. You know the voltage V1 across load 1. You know the current flowing into the load 1. And you know load 1 impedance. That means Z1 also you know. So try to write this V1 also in terms of that. In terms of current and impedance.
IS into Z1.
Okay, so V1 is equals to IS into Z1. Okay, right. So if I write in that, right, so this is cos of theta 1 minus phi. I am getting in this fashion. Okay, root of r1 square plus x1 square is nothing but Z1. So I have written like this. Okay, now you told V1 is equals to IS into Z1. So I have substituted that. Okay, so it has become IS square into R1. Z1 and Z1 got cancelled. Correct now. So this is the formula we have actually seen, which is nothing but I effective square into R1. Right. So for that problem, we are calculating only power P1 consumed by load 1. So we are dealing with voltage across load 1 and current flowing into load 1. Okay. Only these two you have to consider when you are calculating power consumed by load 1. Okay. So what will be the answer for this? Yesterday's problem, if anyone has noted. Okay, so we have seen IS as 12 and R1 is 2. So we got IS square into R1 is 288 watts, which is same with the other formula. Okay, because it is actually coming from the same formula, right? If you substitute this also, V effective into F into cos of theta minus phi, you got the same answer. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
The real value.
yeah, R1 is real value only. 2 ohms in the present case. That's why I have written here 2 minus J1 is equals to R1. Okay, plus Jx1 I have written. So x1 is minus 1. Okay, right. So this is the formula I have straight away told. So if you actually go into that, how we have arrived at this formula. So this is the process you have to follow to achieve that formula. That means I effective square into R1. Similarly, can you find out the expression for in terms of voltage V1? Same load you are considering. Okay, here it is I1 IS square into R1. So try to convert this IS square into R1 in terms of voltage V1 and R1. We are understanding now? Or you can start from the basic point, that means V1 IS into cos of theta 1 minus 5. So from this step itself, you can convert in terms of voltage and impedance. That means remove IS. Try to remove IS such that our voltage term and impedance term only will be present in your expression. So something like that. You are understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
The basic formula is V1 into IS into cos of theta 1 minus phi. So we are considering the same load which is L1, which is 2 minus J1 in the present case. Okay, so try to get an expression for this power in terms of voltage and impedance, whatever it may be.
Sir, sir,
Square R by
sir,
Z.
V1 square R1 by Z1 square.
Okay, so V1 square R1 by Z1. How did you do that?
IS is equal to VY Z1.
Okay, so Is is equals to V1 by Z1. If you substitute that, so you are going to get V1 divided by Z1 whole square into R1. Okay, right. So same formula I have considered. Okay, we are dealing with load 1 alone. Okay, so Is is nothing but V1 divided by Z1. Okay, so you have to do that. So if you do that, you are going to get V1 by Z1 whole square into R1. Okay, so this is the formula you have to adopt to calculate the power. Okay, if you talk in terms of voltage across the load. If you talk about current through the load, this is the formula you have to adopt. Okay, so try to do that and find out whether you are getting the same answer or not. What is V1? Did anyone remember? V1 value we have already calculated.
26.83.
Yeah, 26.83. And Z1 is root of 2 square plus 1 square, that is root 5.
Root
Okay,
5.
and R1 is 2. Okay, yeah, Z1 is root 5. Okay, so R1 is 2. So try to do that.
Yes, sir. We are getting, sir.
Okay, so you'll get something like 288 watts, close to that. Okay.
Yes, sir. 287.9.
Yeah. Okay, so did everyone tried that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you add up this
Yes, sir.
formula, you should get the same value of 288 watts. Okay, so all these formulas which are straight away, I mean, yesterday we have told I square into R1, so they all are coming from the basic formula, which is VRMS into RMS into cos of theta minus phi. Okay, so that is the basic formula. From that we are going to get these kind of things. But we have already seen for a resistive load, I have told like V1 square divided by R1. Okay, so that also comes from the same formula. Okay, in this scenario, if Z1 is equals to R1, okay, that means there is no reactive element, only resistance is present. Then obviously R1 in the denominator and R1 in the numerator gets cancelled, and you will get V1 square divided by R1. Okay, so you should use this formula V1 divided by Z1 whole square into R1. Okay, not this one, V1 square divided by R1. Okay, if only resistance is present, I think this formula is applicable. Okay, but if you have impedance, you have to use this formula. Okay, so always remember, if the power was asked across the element, you should consider voltage across that element and current flowing through that element. If the power was asked how much it is delivered from the source, then voltage across the source and current delivered from the source. Those two you have to consider. Okay, so this is regarding this problem. So yesterday's discussion. Okay, so even for you, if you want to calculate for power for load 2 also, you will get the same process and you will get the same answers. That means 144 watts you will get. Okay, so you get 288 watts, that's all. Okay, so yesterday we started discussing regarding complex power, and we have seen what is complex power denoted by S bar, which is V effective into I effective into E bar J into theta minus phi. Okay, in rectangular form it is P plus JQ, and P and Q are we have already seen. Right, so similar to impedance triangle, you have this power triangle with P and Q on real and imaginary axis, and you have the complex power S. Okay, right, so these all we have already discussed. So we will try to see one problem on this. Yesterday some 2 students have given me information that they are not able to join class, online class. They are available today or not? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They asked me to say that with the link already sent, they are not able to join. So now they are available in class or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm available.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. So I mean the link is common. It is common for everyone. So it should work for all of you. Okay. If something is there, maybe you have to restart your system or something like that. Okay. Okay then. So yesterday, if you could not join, I have sent the video in Google Classroom. So please go through that. So you'll get some idea on this, what I have discussed yesterday. Okay then. So we will see this problem. So what they are saying is an industrial consumer is operating at 50 kilowatt induction motor at a lagging power factor of 0.8. Okay. The source voltage is 230 volts RMS at a frequency of 60 Hz. In order to obtain lower electricity rates, the customer wishes to raise the power factor to 0.95 lagging. Specify a suitable solution. Okay, so this is the question. It has some load with a power factor of 0.8 lagging. So he wants to improve the power factor to 0.95 lagging. Okay, right. So suitable solution they are asking. So what could be that solution? Can anyone guess or has an idea something regarding this? The objective is to improve your power factor of the existing load. How we can improve the power factor? The existing load has a lagging power factor. So lagging power factor means what is the nature of the load? Can anyone say?
Inductor.
So
Inductor.
so inductor. So inductive reactance. Okay. So for that load, the Q value will be positive or negative. For the existing load, the Q value will be positive or negative. Q is
Negative.
reactive power, no?
Negative.
Negative. That means I am talking about, if you write in terms of complex power, it will be P plus JQ or P minus JQ.
Sir, P plus JQ.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
SJQ.
Okay. It should be P plus JQ because inductive reactance is nothing but J omega L. So it will be P plus JQ. Okay, Q will be positive for inductive nature load. If you see in the yesterday in the power triangle also, we have shown that Q is in the first quadrant, that is positive value for lagging loads. Okay, right. So now to improve the power factor, they are asking us to some solution. So what I can do?
Sir, P apparent increase.
No, the load is already existing is inductive nature. So that's why you have 0.8 power factor lagging load. Okay. Now they are asking us how I can improve the power factor load. That means the phase angle between voltage and current they want to reduce. Improving power factor is that only, na? So 0.8 to 0.95 they want. That means the phase angle difference should come down. What is the phase angle here?
Increasing resistance value, sir.
No. Here you see this power triangle. Theta minus phi is the phase angle. Okay, that means power factor is cos of theta minus phi 1 or phi whatever it may be. Right. So they have, let's say here they are now it is having 0.8 power factor. Okay, I want to bring it down to 0.95. So it will be somewhere at this point maybe. Okay, correct now? You agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
After
Yes, sir.
improving, power factor should be high. That means it should increase. That means phase angle should drop. So theta minus phi should reduce. Okay. So it will have somewhere in between these two. Okay. Right. So that means the actual Q you are trying to drop it down, bring it down. After connecting the suitable element, your net Q should be less. The magnitude should be less. So what I can do that? What I can do for that?
Inductance value should be decreased.
Okay, that is one option. But inductance value you can't decrease because they are saying an induction motor, so motor rating is fixed.
But we
Okay.
can decrease omega, no, sir.
No. Omega is frequency. It is coming from the supplier. Supplier means from the grid it is coming. So it is not under your control.
We can add any capacitance, sir. Sir, any other inductor?
Yeah,
We
someone
can
was
add any
saying.
capacitance.
Yeah,
Sir, inductor, sir.
you can add inductor or capacitor to this.
Capacitor. Inductor.
Capacitor, sir. Capacitor.
Okay, so if I add capacitor, the capacitor will, I mean, for the existing Q, the capacitor will also give some Q value, right? Because capacitor is also a reactive element. Okay, so that Q will fall in the first quadrant or fourth quadrant. I am talking about only capacitor. If I add capacitor, the Q will be where it is falling, first quadrant or fourth quadrant? Fourth quadrant, because inductor lagging power factor, it is falling in the first quadrant. Capacitor, it is obviously it's the opposite nature, so it should fall in the fourth quadrant. So that means if I add some capacitor in parallel to this, the Q because of capacitor will be falling in the fourth quadrant, and the net reactive power, that is the sum of algebraic, I mean all this phasor addition of the existing Q and the newly added capacitor Q, will try to bring the overall reactive power to a lower value. That means we are trying to improve your power factor. You are understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So because of the existing Q, you have a power factor of 0.8. So that means your reactive power some value is there. I want to bring it down. So that means I should add a Q in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, I should add some value of Q so that one Q will be in the first quadrant, other because of the new element, the reactive power will be in the fourth quadrant. So the net reactive power will be falling somewhere in this region. That means to a lower value than the existing Q. Okay, right. So in that scenario, I can improve the power factor. Okay. So that means opposite nature element you have to add in parallel to the existing element. That is as simple as that. Then only you can change your reactive power. Okay. So let's see that. Okay. Right. So try to solve this. So that means 50 kilowatts is reactive power or real power? Hello?
Real power.
Real power. So P for the existing, I mean load is 50 kilowatts. Okay. You have the power factor also, which is 0.8 lagging. Can you find out Q1? Q1 means for the existing load. Can you find out Q1 from this or not?
Yes, sir. 50 kilowatt in 2.8.
Okay, because in the power triangle, if you see, you have 50 kilowatts, which is real power, which is on the real axis, and you have the power factor angle of 0.8. So cos of theta minus phi is 0.8. So from that you can calculate the Q1. Okay, without any load, without any extra element added. Okay, so what is the value of Q you got that time?
So 50 at the angle of 36.8.
Okay, 36 point. Can you repeat one more time?
So 50 at the angle of 36.6.
50 at an angle of 36.86. You are talking about Q1.
Yes, sir.
So how did you do that?
So cos inverse of 0.8.
Sir,
Okay, that will give you angle. Okay, right.
we will be using sine, na, sir. Sine theta minus phi, sir, which will be equal to 0.6, sir. So 0.6 into 50 kilowatt, that is equal to 30, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, but
Yeah.
sir, power factor is equal to
See, it
real
is pretty
upon
simple.
Q1.
Real, yeah. So cos phi is R by Z. Okay. Cos phi is R by Z. You see, you have 0.8 here. So cos inverse of 0.8, you will get some angle. Okay. You know the angle. You know the real power, which is P1, which is 50 kilowatts. So now you have to find out Q. In the triangle, you know the angle and you know this thing. So if you use tan formula, I think you will get. So tan theta is equals to what? Opposite by adjacent.
4
Okay.
upon 3.
Okay. Right. So we'll go through that. Okay. So pure reactive element must be added to the system, and it is clear that it must be added in parallel since the supply voltage of the induction motor must not be changed. Since the supply voltage is fixed and the voltage, I mean induction motor is rated for specific voltage, so you can't add any element in series. If you do that, then the voltage which was applied to your induction motor will come down because of the voltage drop. So you can add an corrective device or element in parallel to the existing load. Okay, so here S1 is nothing but the existing load which was given in your question, and this S2 is what we are trying to design. Okay, trying to connect in parallel to that. Okay, right. So you can consider the circuit something like this fashion. Okay, total voltage and this is the total current, and it divides into two currents, I1 and I2. So we have to find out what is this S2, and we have to find out what is the element and what is the value of that element. Okay, right. So first step is we are considering that there is no element connected. So what is the scenario we are trying to study? Okay, so how to do that? So 50 kilowatts is your real power, and this is your basic formula, V effective into cos of theta minus phi. Okay, so V effective is 230 volts. It was already given in the question, and we are considering the phase angle of 0 degrees. Okay, right. So P is 50 into 10 power 3 because it is given in kilowatts, and 230 volts is your RMS value, and I effective 1 into cos of this one. Okay, so you can find out your current I1. This is one information we are getting. Okay, next, if you see the power triangle, cos inverse of 0.8 is 36.86. You know the P1, which is 50 kilowatts. You know the angle. You have to find out Q. That's all. So tan formula, if you apply, you should be able to get it. Correct. So tan theta is equals to opposite by adjacent. So Q1 divided by P1, and you should get this. Is it clear? Simply we are substituting from the power triangle. We are trying to calculate. You know the theta value, you know the P1, and you are finding Q1 using tan theta formula. That's all. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because sometimes
sir.
I get doubt whether I have lost connection or not. Okay. Okay. So this is how you have to calculate your reactive power Q1. Okay. So that means only the 50 kilowatts is present in your system. So the same thing, if I write in the complex form, I am going to get S1 is equals to P1 plus Q1. So P1 is 50 and J into 37.5 kVA, kilovolt amperes, because the unit for complex power or apparent power is kVA only, right? So this is how you have to calculate S1 value. Okay, so now the question is, after adding S2 to the existing load, they have given you how much power factor they want. Okay, that is 0.95 lagging they want. Okay, right. So assuming that I have added some element and I have improved my power factor to 0.95 lagging. Okay, try to calculate your reactive power. You are understanding the question, huh? I am saying I have connected some element. I don't know what is that element. Some element I have connected, but I observe that the power factor at the source terminals, okay, is observed to be 0.95 lagging. That means power factor has improved after connecting the element, right? So how to calculate that? In that scenario, try to calculate the total Q. You are getting now? Same power triangle, after connecting your load S2, okay, I mean some corrective device, I am trying to calculate what is the total real and reactive power coming from the source. Okay. Okay, so one question I will ask, whether after connecting, you are understanding now, after connecting your second load to the system, then the total real and reactive power which is delivered from the source we are trying to calculate. Okay, so in that scenario, whether this second load will consume some real power or not.
No, no, sir.
Okay, so why it should not consume real power?
Because it's
Because sir, it is reactive in nature.
Okay, so what it is means is, since our objective is to only to improve reactive power, okay, if you connect some element which is consuming real power, it is a loss for the customer. Okay, unnecessarily he is increasing the load which is of no use for him. Okay, so that's why they are connecting only reactive element which will not consume your real power. Okay, but it will help in improving your reactive power, that means improving your power factor. Okay, so the real power consumed by this fellow is going to be 0, but reactive power, some value it can exist. Okay, right. So in that scenario, okay, what could be the reactive power, total reactive power for both the sources? Okay, same thing you have to do, same power triangle you have to apply, right? Your phase angle you have changed because it is 0.95 lagging now, you will get new value of theta. Okay, right, and your real power consumption remains the same. After connecting the second load also, the real power consumption remains the same because second load is not consuming any real power. So this P1 remains the same, which is 50 kilowatts. Okay, and you have to calculate the new value of Q total. Okay, or Q you can call it. So try to calculate that Q.
Sir, 16.43.
16.43 positive value, correct na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did others try that? It's the same thing, only thing is after connecting the load there is no real power consumption, there is no extra real power drawn from the source, only reactive power will be drawn because the objective is to design such an element. Okay, okay, after connecting that they have given you what is the power factor, which is 0.95 lagging. So you can calculate the new phase angle theta minus phi for the complete load, for the both loads. Okay, so once you get the theta, your total power remains the same because P2 is going to 0 and P1 remains the same, 50 kilowatts. Okay, so from that theta and from the total power P, you can calculate the new Q value. Okay, did others get it or not? Did anyone else got that answer or not?
No, sir.
No. Did you try that? Or did you understood what I told? Okay, so the existing power triangle P1 plus JQ1 is for only one load connected to your system. Okay, they are saying that after connecting some element, I want the power factor to be 0.95 lagging. Okay, so let's consider that as P and Q. Okay, we will not say P1 and Q1, you will consider as total power P and total power Q. Okay, so total power P will be equals to P1 and all because P2 is not consuming any power. Okay, so total power P is equals to P1. that is 50 kilowatts. The new phase angle is cos inverse of 0.95, whatever you get, that you have to use. And then find the value of Q.
Sir, it is
Okay,
16.43.
sir. Got it, sir.
Okay, so we'll go through it. After adding only reactive element in parallel to S1 to achieve the total power factor of 0.95 lagging, the total complex power I am trying to calculate. Right. So S1 S total is equals to P plus JQ. Okay. The new power factor is 0.95. So theta minus 5 is cos inverse of 0.95, which is 18.19. So tan of 18.19 will be Q divided by P. So from that you can calculate your total Q for both the loads. Okay. At 0.95 lagging is 16.434 kVAR. Did everyone understood this or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's the same thing. If you are understanding the first step, this second step also you should understand. Only thing is the phase angle is changing. That is one thing you have to remember. And the power consumed, real power consumed by the second load is going to be 0. Okay. So for the total power, P remains the same, which is P is equals to P1. Okay. So from that, you can calculate the reactive power Q. This is the total reactive power Q to achieve our objective of 0.95 lagging. Okay. Right. Now, I have told here, right, somewhere here. Yes. If you see this formula, total power is the sum of additions of individual complex powers. Total complex power is equals to sum of individual complex powers. So try to use this formula in terms of P1 and P1 plus JQ1. Okay. And that means simply you have to substitute. You are understanding now? So S is equals to P plus JQ now. S1 is equals to P1 plus JQ1. S2 is equals to P2 plus JQ2. So try to use this formula and find out what could be Q2.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, please come back to that slide, sir. Please, sir.
This one or next one?
That previous one. Previous, sir.
This one.
No. Back, sir. Back.
This one.
Yes, sir. This one. Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
in this, sir, reactive power is equals to V effective into I effective into sine theta minus phi, sir.
Which one? This one.
Sir, reactive power Q.
Reactive power here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, we could calculate this by, sir, sine theta minus phi here is 0.6, na, sir, in our question.
0.8, na?
No, sir, cos phi is 0.8, na, sir. Cos theta minus phi is 0.8, na.
Okay. Okay.
And sine theta minus phi is 0.6.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
so, sir, reactive power Q should be equal to V effective into I effective into 0.6, sir.
Okay. Yeah. But that is for
And
only one load is connected. Only one load is connected. You are talking all these things, right? That means cos theta is 0.8 means sin theta is 0.6. So that is only when load 1 is connected to your system, then you are calculating the reactive power. Correct, na?
yes, sir.
Hello.
Understood. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. You'll get the same answer if you check. Because
Okay.
if you see here, I have calculated the current also in the first step. Okay, right. This is the current. Okay, so this current into 230 volts into sine of sine angle means 0.6. So if you multiply 271.74 into 230 into 0.6, you should get the same answer. Reactive power. You got
Okay,
it, na?
sir.
You'll
Yes, sir.
get the same thing. So that is only for Q1. Calculating Q1, I think you can do that method. Okay, because you know the current here. Okay, but in the second scenario, you don't know the current. Okay, if you want to use that formula. Okay, we'll see. First we'll find out the current, because current you have to find out the element, since you know the voltage.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, so we are here, I think so. So I have asked you a question. Find out the reactive power Q2. What could be the Q2 value? You have S
minus 21.07.
minus 21.07. What formula you have used? How did you approach that?
Sir, that S is equal to S1 plus S2, sir. So
Okay.
that P plus Q is equal to JQ is equal to P1 plus JQ1 plus P2 plus JQ2.
Okay.
Sir,
So
from there I have to find S2, sir. That P plus Q2.
okay. Okay. So what is P2 here in that expression?
So 50.
P2.
So 0.
Okay. P2 is 0. P1 is 50. What is total P?
So 50.
Okay. So that is also 50. So did everyone got this concept or not? So what I have
Yes,
asked
sir.
just now to calculate. So
Yes, sir.
simply the total power consumed at any part of the different elements within the circuit. So the complex power addition of different elements should be equals to your total complex power. Okay, delivered from the source. Okay, so that thing we are applying. So in the present scenario, this S is the total complex power delivered from the source terminals. So S is equals to P plus JQ. It is supplied to two elements. So P1 plus JQ1 plus P2 plus JQ2. Okay. And we have already discussed that the real power consumed by second element is 0, because we don't want that to happen. If that is done, then you are going to have power loss, right? So if you do that, P plus JQ is equals to P1 plus J into Q1, and P2 is equals to 0. So that's why I kept 0 here. So you are going to get J Q2 is equals to minus J into 21.07 kVAR, right? So if you write in the complex form, it is this minus J 21.07 kVA. Okay, because your real power is 0, Pt is equals to 0. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Or anyone has doubt in this?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay then. So you have got Q2. I mean S2 you have got. So how to find out capacitor element. So from this expression you can say whether you are going to add capacitor or inductor, right? How you can say? By seeing that S2?
The Q2 is negative.
So
Negative,
Q2
sir.
is negative, so you can approximately guess it could be a capacitor. But anyway, even if you don't have idea also, if you solve this, you will understand that it is capacitor. Okay, so you have got S2. So now how to find out the capacitor element or whatever it may be? So what formula I should use?
Sir, I square R
Sir, minus J upon omega C
minus
is
J
equal
upon I
to
square, then we will get capacitance.
I square R, how you will use? There is no resistor in this, na? This is a capacitor element. Okay, you don't have any real power. If R you are talking, then you should have some P value. Here the P2 is equals to 0, so there is no concept of resistance in this. It is only reactive element. It can be an inductor or a capacitor, that we have to find out. Okay, but we have what? Yeah.
Sir, S2 is equal to V into I2. From there we can get I2, sir.
Okay.
Then get Z2.
Okay, so something like that, but make sure that S2 is equals to not V2 into I2, it is V2 into I2 conjugate. Okay. Okay, so use that formula. S2 is equals to V2 into I2 conjugate, and try to find out what is that I2 conjugate value, and then find out what is I2. Try to solve that, find out I2 conjugate or I2 value.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I2 conjugate is equal to minus J 91.6 ampere.
Okay, minus J 91.6 ampere. Okay, so try to find out Z2 from that and then find out element, whatever element you get. Try to find out Z2 and then find out the impedance and then find the value of that inductor or capacitor, whatever it may be. Okay, so everyone is able to follow, na? Or
Yes, sir.
anyone is having doubt in this concept?
We do conjugate one section, sir.
Any doubt?
Sir, I didn't get how to find that I2 conjugate.
I2. So complex power S2 bar has another formula also. If you see Vrms into Irms into into cos of theta minus phi, or you can call it as V phasor into I phasor conjugate. Okay, so S2 is equals to V2 phasor into I2 phasor conjugate. Okay, right. So you have V2 already known, which is 230 volts RMS at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay, so try to find out I2 conjugate from that. You're understanding, na?
Yes.
Because S is nothing but complex power is V into I conjugate. So since we are talking about load 2, okay, so you should call it as V2. Of course, V2 is equals to V1 is equals to source voltage V1, V, not an issue. And I2 will be different. So I2 conjugate you can find out from that expression.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Z2 is equal to minus J 2.51 ohm.
Minus J 2.51 ohm. Okay. So can you find out minus you got na? So that indicates some capacitive element. Okay. So you can go forward to find out the value of capacitance also.
Okay.
Okay. Frequency 60 Hertz is given in your question. Okay. So use that frequency value and find out the capacitance value also. Okay. So we'll see that now. Okay. So S2 is minus J 21.07 kVA, which is nothing but V into I2 conjugate. V is equals to V1 is equals to V2. Okay. So I2 conjugate you are going to get minus J 91.586 and I2 will be plus J 91.586. Okay. Right. So from this current, since you know the voltage, you can find out Z value. Z2 is equals to voltage divided by this current. Voltage phasor divided by this current phasor. Okay. So you try to do that. Voltage is 230 at an angle of 0 degrees divided by this one, current.
Minus 2.527.
Minus 2 point. You are saying the current value?
Not sir.
2.511
You are saying the current or capacitor value? What are?
capacitor values.
Z2 sir.
Okay, so capacitor value we'll see. Z2 how much?
Sir, minus 2.527 J.
Okay. Yeah. So you are going to get Z2 is nothing but voltage divided by current. So if you do that, minus J 2.51 ohms. Okay. So this is capacitive reactance because you are going to get minus in this Z2. So negative value it is always equals to capacitance, or that means 1 by j omega c is equals to this one. Okay, right, or minus j by omega c is equals to this one. Okay, so if you do that, you are going to get j and j going to be cancelled, and omega is 2 into pi into f. F is 60 hertz. Okay, so if you do that, you are going to get your capacitor value as 1056 microfarad. Okay, so 1056 microfarad. So this is the capacitor you have to connect in parallel for the existing voltage of 230 volts in order to get an overall power factor of 0.95 lagging. Okay, so this is how you have to proceed. Anyway, this kind of problem will give you an understanding how to improve your power factor. So in the real system also, you will use some capacitor connected in parallel to the existing load. Okay, right. They are called as synchronous condensers. Usually they will, if it's some applications are there where they will use synchronous condensers, or they will use static capacitors. Okay, so static capacitor they will install at the input or at the load terminals. Okay, so that your overall power factor will be improved. Okay, right, because in real system, if you have some large industry and if your power factor is very low, then your electricity bill will be very high. Okay, right, is it clear? So to improve that power factor, they will install one static capacitor at the supply terminals, at the input terminals. Okay, so that will improve your overall power factor of the load. Okay, so you will get your electricity bill reduced because you have improved power factor. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you have to proceed with this problem. Okay, anyway, this problem, I mean, this will give you an overall picture how to, with complex power, how to calculate your capacitance value, what is the concept behind this adding of the capacitor to improve your power factor. Okay, so all this idea you will get from this problem. Okay, so that's it. So these example problems I have already given in your practice sheet. So the same things are shown here, right? So that's it for chapter 2. Okay, so chapter 2 will be concluded with today's class. So we have seen complete AC circuits, different types of powers, what is RMS value, and Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem. All these theorems are applicable similar to DC circuits. Okay, right. So that's it for today. And Thursday morning you will have exam. Okay, on DC circuits only. I will send a complete mail regarding that. It will be in Google Classroom. Okay, right. So time also I will send in your mail. So at that time you have to open your Google Classroom and click on the question paper and give your answers. Okay. Anyone has doubt? Okay. Okay, then you can leave. Check your mail. So on Thursday morning you will have exam. Okay. Fine.
One small note, sir.
Yeah. Anyone has